What's up, guys? I'm Reyes. This is Joe.
What's up?
Nerds at War, and we're here to give you our thoughts about the Switch, the conference, the games, and all that types of good, juicy stuff. So, anyway, major thoughts, me personally, when I first heard about it, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I didn't like the idea of it being mobile and stuff like that. And I'm not against innovation or anything like that. Is that I have like a personal idea that, you know, when it's a console, I want it to be a console. I want to be at home playing and stuff like that. But that's just me personally. How did you feel generally?
Honestly, I felt like it was a pretty good console for what it was. I mean, granted, it's still a Nintendo. But then again, Nintendo back in the day was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But, like, for what it is, like, it does still have the home console aspect to it. The only thing is it's just a multiple of all the Nintendo consoles basically just into one.
Yeah, of course. So,
I mean, yeah, it does have the mobile aspect too, but you're not limited to just mobile. You've also got the home console set up like
yeah, of course,
everything else.
So we'll get into it. This is before we saw the press conference, so we're gonna edit it real quick and we're gonna tell you exactly what we thought about after the press conference.
After conference, what? All right, so we just finished watching the press conference. All in all, I was pretty impressed for what it was. What about you?
My main issue with the press conference was, without sounding super racial, it was very Japanese. Like, alright, what I mean by that is that, I guess in Japanese culture, it was acceptable for it to be the way it was. My thing was that I didn't enjoy watching the presentation parts of it. Like, the whole thing about, like, the Western that had nothing to do with the actual,
honestly, I thought you would have just been happy that there was actually people saying what they were saying.
Oh, of course.
There was no reading to it.
Yeah, of course. No subtitles.
No subtitles.
We don't need that. But anyway.
We're American. We don't like that.
But anyway, I didn't like the fact that it felt like it was like very on and off with certain aspects. Like, the whole Western thing didn't make sense to me. I was like, why is that there? Like, I get it was introducing like the whole mini games aspect, but that, like, they emphasized the Western part a little bit too much to the point where it's like, was it like its own game, and then eventually you find out it's just a bunch of mini games into one. Pretty much it's a demo disc of the Nintendo Switch. Pretty much how like the Wii was, you know, with Wii Sports and stuff like that. That's how I saw it personally. You know, that's just my personal opinion, how I feel about it. Alright, I don't know what the fuck was with that guy, the Splatoon dude, with the double guns, you know, doing the double gun dab thing.
Yeah.
Like,
that was something.
I only played a little bit of Splatoon, and I actually enjoyed it, surprisingly. It wasn't that bad of a game. I didn't have any complaints about it, but I think what made me not like the press conference was the actual just people themselves, like how they expressed themselves. And another thing about the press conference, that why the stupid thing with the water, you know, the rumble pack.
No, for that I can actually, that was just mainly to give you an idea of how the controller is. Like, if you're, like, say, like your character's holding a glass of water with ice in it, your controller will basically feel like you actually have a glass of water with ice in it.
Yeah, but realistically, no one was impressed with that. They were just like, look, I have a glass of water, I drank it, and then you see all the Japanese people like, next! That's pretty much how it was. And, like, I was just like, oh, like, I get, you know, you want to express the HD rumble and stuff like that, you know, because it's, like, such a big thing for your console, but still, just, like, I don't know, I couldn't put it into, like, enjoying it too much, but that's just how I felt about that aspect. But, how do you feel about the controller?
The controller kind of gives it back to the old NES controller, but instead of, it's here and there, but the thing is, like, you gotta realize the whole console itself is basically a mix of, like, as I said before, the old Nintendo consoles all in one. It's got the analog stick from the N64. It's got the old rectangular controller set up as the Super NES.
Yeah,
it's got the motion controls from the Wii, of course, and of course the portability of any of the portable consoles that they've had, which is like goes from Game Boy, the original Game Boy, to the 3DS.
Yeah, of course. And they explained that all in the press conference, and I enjoyed that they did that because that was cool. You know, it's like flashback and stuff like that. But me personally, I was just like, I didn't really care first of all, I think the controller's ugly. I haven't enjoyed a Nintendo console controller since the N64. I thought the GameCube was very clunky. I didn't like it. The Wii, it was just a remote, you know, just very basic. I didn't enjoy it too much.
Here's your Wiimote.
It's in a nutshell. And I never liked it, and me personally, I don't understand why Nintendo is so obsessed with motion controls and stuff like that. I can't get behind it unless it's like VR, because that's different, you know, virtual reality and stuff like that. But just overall, just that idea of just motion controls, like, I don't know, like, when I get home from work and stuff like that, I don't want to keep on, like, moving and stuff like that. And hopefully with the Pro Controller that they introduced, that it could defeat that option of motion controls. Like, I hope that whatever games they have, it has both those options. Because if it's just that one game with just motion controls, it's going to be a disaster.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to deal with that.
More games!
Jumanji! Now we get into the gaming section of the actual presentation. And I'd like for you to start off again, because honestly, for a lot of people who know me personally, they know I have such a strong bias against Nintendo consoles. I haven't enjoyed a Nintendo console since the N64, so I kind of want to keep that, what I have to say about it, the very last. So please just explain, like, what you thought about the games and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, just like you, the last real Nintendo like, I've been backlogged from Nintendo consoles, like, to no end. Like, the last gaming console from Nintendo that I remember playing is, I think it was the Game Boy Advance SP.
Oof.
Yeah.
That was still pretty good.
It was
still pretty good.
A little bit further ahead than you are, but, you know.
Yeah.
But all in all, aside from the console, like, how the console is, it all comes down to the games, really. Like, if you have no actual games to play on it, what's the point of the console? I mean, like, the two main ones that they were bringing up was the Mario Odyssey, which kind of has the Super Mario 64 kind of aspect to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the biggest leak that I heard on that from passing, like, somebody's like, oh yeah, they got Mario and Assassin's Creed. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
This is...
I saw the trailer and everything. I didn't see anything Assassin's Creed-y with it.
Yeah, that was very weird.
That was like when I heard that, I'm like, that was a...
But
like, they also have the new Zelda game that they were talking about. But those are the two main ones that hit. I mean, yeah, they got Splatoon 2 they were talking about. They also had... They referenced talking about Sonic a little bit.
Yeah,
they didn't give too much detail on it.
Yeah.
From what I saw.
They actually, not to cut you off, but they actually... it wasn't part of the press conference from what I remember.
Mm-hmm.
I read it actually on another article that they're doing more Sonic games and stuff like that. It was actually on a different presentation. Is there anything else you want to say about the games in general? But
I mean, one of the other ones that kind of stuck out was ARMS, which actually had some use of the motion control to it, which it was pretty good. But then again, like, you gotta remember what Nintendo really is. It's a family console. It's not necessarily like one of those ones you look for shooters or otherwise.
Yeah, of course. Me personally, I felt this is where Nintendo brought their A game. And I never thought I would be promoting Nintendo or saying anything nice about them.
Didn't you just say you hated the console?
I said I hated their consoles, you know, since GameCube, Wii U. But this one, I'm not...
Well, the GameCube was just basically a box.
Alright, put it like this. I'm not impressed by the console itself. I'm not impressed by, you know, the innovations that they're doing. And I admit their innovations is something different, and I appreciate that they're doing something new. But I'm not impressed by what it is, how it looks. I think the controllers, the Joy-Con looks stupid. I don't like it. But their games. I never thought I would say this in my life about a Nintendo console, but I was genuinely impressed by the games they were having to offer. Like, ARMS, the last thing, like, that was one of the games I was actually referencing when we was talking about the actual press conference about the motion controls, because that game looks amazing. I'm not gonna lie, like, you know, if they did release, like, DLC called Legs or some stupid nonsense like that.
Don't give them ideas. Do not give them ideas.
I would play it. I would probably buy it, as long as it's fair.
Yeah, because then it goes... Then you gotta find a way to hold the controllers with your feet.
Of course. You know, it'll become an expansion. It'll be
everybody's gonna have a freaking exposed... extra appendages for their fucking feet.
It'll be $29.99. It'll be great. But it's pretty much I
enjoy Joy-Con socks.
Oh my god, I could so see that happening. But I enjoyed what they had to offer a lot. Like, I enjoyed ARMS. I enjoyed the Square Enix game. I actually like Fire Emblem. I like strategy RPG, so I was actually like, wow, they're making a Fire Emblem for the Switch. And the biggest one of them all, and a lot of people who know me personally knows I have such a gripe with Legend of Zelda 3D games, but...
Oh, here we go.
Oh my, I never thought I'd be saying this. It looks amazing. I remember, like, online, I wish I had a screenshot of what I said about it. I was like, this looks dumb. It looks like a stupid Skyrim. Da 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 da.
If you have him on Facebook, he's gonna troll the shit out of you.
Of course, but I was saying so much crap, and I'm just like, after I watched the last trailer of Legends, I'm eating all my words. I'm like, nope, nope, nope. I was wrong. Hopefully it plays like how it looked, because you know what I enjoyed about this the most, and why I had a hard time about Nintendo consoles, is that I felt like I wasn't relating to like the games and stuff like that, because I felt like it was too like kiddish. But like when you look at the trailer and you see like everything's going crazy, like the world's kind of destroying, and you see this random, I think it's Zelda, I'm not too sure, the random chick like saying like, you know, like, help, save this. I was like, whoa, Zelda's getting really real right now. Like, all right, I could get behind this. You know, this looks epic. You know, besides it being so colorful, like Wind Waker, like it looks completely like it's gonna be top-notch, mature, you know, or mature-ish, I guess. But overall, I was generally impressed by Zelda. The Mario game, I'm very half and half with, though.
Really?
Yeah. Mario.
I mean, certainly not Mario with an Assassin's Creed hood.
Oh no!
Like people were kind of making it sound like
that doesn't even make sense to me.
I heard that, I was baffled. That's why I had to like really look into it. Like what the hell is this?
No, of course, but
especially me being a big Assassin's Creed fan.
The one thing that I don't understand, like I get Mario's always trying to do something new. But why? Why the hat with the eyes? Like why are you making his hat a character? Like I don't get it. I guess I will have to play the game to understand it. Like I like the new platform format is doing, like, you know, throw the hat, you jump on it, and you get off.
Since when did the hat become a turtle shell?
It is what it is. But I generally thought that was cool, but then once the eyes thing came out, it ruined it for me. Like I was just like, oh, this is interesting.
Really, just because they had eyes?
Yeah, like that. I don't like the fact, because it's gonna become a character, and you know what? This is what Nintendo's gonna do. It's gonna become a character. It's gonna, you know, it's gonna drive to a certain degree. Then they're gonna make an amiibo about it and sell it for like, you know, $20, and then there's gonna be a gold version of the hat.
Wait, they're still making amiibos?
Yeah, they are. Surprisingly.
What the hell?
There's a lot of them. But you know, they're gonna do that, and then they're gonna make a gold edition of that, and then, you know, they're gonna Nintendo the shit out of this Nintendo new character of a throwing hat type of nonsense thing.
Nintendoception.
Exactly. So I didn't like the fact that it was its own character. Me personally, that's just my personal gripe with it. But it might be interesting. It might be fun to play, you know, just the platforming aspects. You know, again, this is just my personal opinion about it. I don't know really too much details about most of the other games. The other games, the trailers I saw, they looked really cool.
They touched base, but not into too great of a detail.
Yeah, like the Fire Emblem game, I was getting a little bit hyped. I was like, oh, I'm seeing the sword, I'm seeing the shield, and then it ends. Yeah. And I was like, boy, what? Where is it? That's it. I was like, where's the rest of it? And then that's it. It was just like, oh, there it is. And then it at the very end is like Fire Emblem. I was like,
there's a whole big cock tease.
I was like, why? Like, I didn't get it, because the thing is that I feel like they're shoving just Zelda down your throat. They're shoving Mario down your throat. And then all these other franchises that they have, they're just like, yeah, you could go ahead too. Like, that's the thing that I don't like about Nintendo in general, is that they don't promote the other, you know, characters as much as just, you know, these main characters. I get your main characters you're going to show more love to, but you have other characters. You have more to offer, and they're not doing that. But hopefully, with the Switch, they do more with it, and hopefully you'll see more games. The one thing that I noticed is that they only have one release, you know, console game release with it, and that's Zelda. And I feel like if this Zelda does not be as great as they promote it up to be,
they're just gonna have another Wii.
Exactly. It's gonna be just another Wii U situation where it sells for a little bit, and then next, you know, no one wants it anymore. You know, and that's the thing that's scary, is because you're driving so hard on this one game, and I'm just like, all right, you know what? I guess I'll trust you. I mean, but
I'll give you the Nintendo. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But if you fuck up, we're gonna have a long talk.
Yeah.
Final thoughts.
Take me home, bitch.
All right, wrapping this all together. You personally, how do you feel that the Switch did?
Honestly, I think the Switch did pretty good for what it was. Again, I'm very impressed with the whole thing where it's basically all the Nintendo consoles tied into one. But the one thing that that's like leaving me at a bit of an impasse is the games that they have available that they're announcing to us.
Okay.
So in other words, like, yeah, they have the Mario game that's gonna be coming out. They have the Zelda game, which even you were impressed with. It's what the titles that they didn't really put too much emphasis on. So in other words, like if you're focusing on your two main horses, what's to say one of the horses has a broken leg?
That's true. And there wasn't, you know, like you said, there wasn't enough emphasis on the other games. And I believe personally they're just not ready. That's why they just, you know, they were like, here, make a quick thing, and then here, shoot it out to us so that we could promote it. And for me personally, as much as people are probably like, oh, you should buy it, it's so cheap, da 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 da, I'm still not at that point where I would go out and actually buy it. I'm more at the aspect of like, wow, you're actually doing something new. You're promoting, you know, these games that are having a little bit more of a mature content to a point where, you know, you're making your games more interesting. And that's why I like about it, is that they're focusing on their games very heavily. And I can see that they're focusing on their games heavily. And it's all about just when is it coming out. And that's the thing, like when we buy consoles, and we're both consumers, we're all gamers, whoever watches this and stuff like that, we want to make sure that we get our money's worth. And, you know, it's coming out cheap, you know, that's great and all, but we need to see more of the games. And that's why I personally, I can't go out and say, I'm going to pre-order this and buy this. No matter how little of manufacturing you make this, it's not making me buy it.
We're going to have to see, like, some more to it than what they actually put out in the conference. I mean, personally, like, yeah, I would consider getting it, but I wouldn't consider pre-ordering it.
Yeah, of course.
Because, like, again, it's a very iffy subject. Like, if you're a huge Nintendo fanboy, God bless you. But other than that, again, I'm impressed for the most part from what I saw. Just not impressed enough to actually pre-order it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And you know what? I'm going to take it all by ear at this point, because at the end of the day, there's people who've been waiting for the Zelda for years, and I can understand that to a point, because I've been waiting for my Final Fantasy VII remake for this long.
And he's been shitting on the Zelda series for God knows how long.
Yeah,
I've known him for years.
Just the 3D ones. I don't like it, you know.
Well, 3D is a shitty concept and everybody knows it.
Yeah, of course, but I'm talking about, like, you know, and watch, the hate comments are flowing. I feel it. I don't like Ocarina of Time. I don't like Majora's Mask. I don't like Wind Waker. I don't like any.
He's been very vocal on it. He has been very vocal.
Very vocal on it. But, you know,
let the butthurt begin.
But at the end of the day, gaming is all subjective. As long as you enjoy it, you got your money's worth.
Exactly.
But hopefully, I guess they could ride this out with Zelda. Hopefully, it sells it to the point where they could live. You know, it'll have a good starting point. But if the Zelda flops and that's your only game that's driving the console, then
comes back to what I was saying before. You have two horses. One of the horses breaks a leg. You're down to one horse because the other one's got to get shot.
Exactly. And at that point, you won't even make it to the other horse because that horse is not coming out to the holiday season. So you're left with that one and you're stranded. So thank you guys for watching this video. Please subscribe. Follow us on Instagram. We're on Twitter. Everything's going to be linked down below. I'm Reyes.
I'm Joe.
And thanks for watching.
Also, while you're waiting for our next video, check out my channel. I'm uploading on a daily basis.
Which is?
Link will be in the description.